So if you're a subscriber to my channel, you know there are so many things that I personally love about Jacksonville living. And there's so many people that are also moving from up north down south, and it's really not hard to see all of the positives of living in Northeast Florida. Now, of course, in any move, there's positives and negatives, and we're gonna really outline that a little bit more for you today. Just know that some of the things I talk about in this video are purely my opinion or things that I've heard from buyers and sellers as I've seen them move and adjust to this style of living, but this is just to give you some insight to see if you'd like to call Jacksonville home. So let's begin with our first pro. Jacksonville is home to so many different job opportunities with a lot of demand, whether that's well-established organizations or new up-and-coming startups. Jacksonville's become a great place to find maybe that forever job you're looking for. We have great healthcare, the Navy, industrial, as well as financial. And with no state income tax, it's really an attractive place for entrepreneurs and business owners to maybe start a company or relocate their company and keep more money in their pocket. So for our first con, we're gonna talk about the humidity and the rainy season. Humidity is definitely something you wanna take into consideration when moving to Jacksonville. It'll almost slap you in the face if you're not used to it. And a lot of people from up north don't expect it, but it's definitely something to take into consideration. It'll feel wet, a little bit damp, and it makes the heat just a little bit hotter. So as for rainy season, as you can imagine, a lot of people think of Florida as every day is going to be a beautiful sunny day. What they actually don't realize is in the summertime, we're going to see a lot of rain. So you'll have a beautiful sunny morning, and then the afternoon is filled with torrential downpours, really so much that you can't even see outside your windshield, or maybe there's flooding. So take that into consideration that there will be some rainy seasons, and you've heard it from me, so you can't say you didn't know. Now, before we go on to the next pro, you may or may not know that our team helps hundreds of families every year move to the Jacksonville area. Feel free, Google us, check out our 300 plus 5-star reviews and see how we're helping so many families. And if you want to get connected, email us at info@therockagroup.com. So let's talk about our next pro, and that is that Jacksonville is a large city, but with small town vibes. There's so many different communities and lifestyles within Jacksonville, whether that's beachside, historic district, riverfront, maybe even a master plan community. And within all of these different types of communities and lifestyles, you'll find single family homes, multifamily, condos, apartments, so many different options. It's a type of city where you can wake up early, head downtown, do a couple hours of work, maybe head to the beach after that with friends and family, and then end up in San Marco for an evening drink, and then go home to your master plan community in Seven Pines, all within 20 to 30 minutes of each other. And that's one of the highlights. So for our next pro, we're gonna talk about our beaches, and I'm sure that's no surprise to you as so many people are moving to Florida and Northeast Florida for our beaches. With miles and miles of coastline, there's so many different areas that you can live and enjoy that beach lifestyle. Now, when we talk about Northeast Florida specifically, you're going to find that so many people are choosing our area because they're able to live that beach lifestyle that so many desire without maybe that high price tag that you're gonna find in Miami or Tampa. And they're able to find a house that gives them that lifestyle without that high price tag. So definitely a pro and something to keep in mind. So now let's pivot and talk about travels. So Jacksonville has an international airport, which is certainly a pro, but the con is that flights are pretty limited. It's a pretty small airport, and you're usually gonna have a connection point. Atlanta is definitely the go-to connection point. So it's something to consider when you're looking at flight patterns, considering moving here, what's gonna work best for you and your travel needs. So our next pro is going to be about sports. Obviously, people move to Florida to play golf. Well, Jacksonville has so many different options for golf courses, both private, public, and if you're just wanting to be a spectator, we have the Players Championship, which is right down the road in Ponte Vedra, just south of Duval County. So now let's talk about football. So even if you're not maybe a football lover, you'll find that when you move here, there is so much hype around the Jaguars that you're gonna instantly, more than likely, fall in love. And Jacksonville really comes alive during Jaguar football season. It's definitely something you have to experience, whether we're good or bad that year. It's definitely a lot of fun. And then on the other side, we have the Florida-Georgia game, which is every year. We host it at the Everbank Stadium. Definitely a lot of fun. So sports in general is a great way to enjoy Jacksonville. Moving on, if you're someone who really craves that downtown vibrant scene, this is a con that you might want want to consider is Jacksonville's not quite there yet. We're probably several years out from being the downtown metropolis that I know we can become, but we have a little bit of work to do. So like I mentioned earlier, we're lacking some of those cultural amenities that may be attractive to you if that's what you're looking for, such as nightclubs, places to go in the late evenings. So take that into consideration if that's a lifestyle you're looking for in the here and now versus several years out. So along those same lines, let's talk about our final con of living in Jacksonville. So Jacksonville is a very car-dependent city. You're gonna find that out pretty quickly when you move to the area. We don't have a bright rail system like you may see in Orlando to really get you around in the evenings, and Uber and Lyft can be pretty pricey considering you're 20-30 minutes away from like the beach to downtown. So definitely something to consider when moving to Jacksonville. Now for our last pro of living in Jacksonville, JAX is home to so many events and family-friendly things to do all over the city. As I mentioned with those master plan communities earlier, within those communities, there's so many events and amenities to take advantage of for the whole family that oftentimes you don't even have to leave the communities to have some weekend fun. And as far as other events and fun things to do with your family in Jacksonville, there are fairs, festivals, free museums. Definitely check out the River Jam Music Festivals, the art market. And lastly, Jacksonville even has a great zoo. And if you choose to work with our team, every year we put on a great event where you can bring out your friends, family for a free day at the zoo. If that's not enough to get your family out of the house, maybe the 300 plus parks that we have will certainly do that. So whether you want to take the kids out or maybe just your pets for a little stroll in the park, there's so many to choose from. So that wraps up our video for today. And I'm sure a lot of you watching have other topics that you're curious about. Jacksonville is such a big city and there's so much to learn. If you want to sit down with a local expert, dive deeper into the topics that matter most to you, we'd love to chat with you. Email my team and I at info@therockagroup.com. We'll catch you on the next one.